Welcome to the Cup of Joe Show, the podcast where Senator Joseph Cryan talks about the latest in New Jersey's 20th Legislative District. This week's guest, President and CEO at Greater Elizabeth Chamber of Commerce, Jennifer Costa.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Cup of Joe Show. I am absolutely thrilled today to introduce to you one of my favorite people in government whose enthusiasm for what she does and the results that you produce make you one of the most effective people I've ever met in government. It's my privilege to introduce to you, everybody, our guest today, Jennifer Costa. Jen. All right. Jen's the president and the CEO of the Greater Elizabeth Chamber of Commerce. She's also the executive director of the Elizabeth Destination Marketing Organization. We're going to talk a lot about the great city of Elizabeth today, which I obviously have the privilege of representing in the state Senate, and we obviously have the opportunity to work together quite a bit. But Jen, it's an absolute delight to have you here today.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks for being here. So talk to us a little bit. We want to meet you first. All right. Tell folks about your path, how you got here, and then we're going to talk about all the amazing things you do and are getting done. But tell us a little bit about, what drew you to economic development, to public service, to the chamber. Talk to us.
Thanks so much. So started out, I want to say with my professional career, I graduated 22 years of age with a master's degree in diplomacy and international relations. I've had a lot of federal work behind the scenes, working for the American Embassy in Lisbon, Portugal, also working for the Portuguese government to the UN. So it really gave a global perspective to want to bring it back home. Mm-hmm. Sharing a great Union County story, I was former Miss Union County. That was a precursor to being one of the finalists for Miss New Jersey of Miss America. So it was very exciting. So that was many years ago, but it's great to be able to bring that light back to the position that I carry now, servicing our chamber and our tourism.
Okay. So you talked about your completion and then obviously the work with Miss New Jersey and the rest. But what parts of your career, tell us about how you got here. Oh, by the way, that diplomacy degree, I bet, comes in handy with Mayor Bolwich once in a while.
Definitely keeps it interesting with all of our elected officials across the board and our chamber members as well. So how did I come about? A lot of it was service work. I started out years ago through our Portuguese club, the Elizabeth Portuguese Lions Club, all service work and oriented. I ended up emceeing many years ago the Groundwork Gala. And that's where I was introduced to Gordon Haas, who was my predecessor. Mm-hmm. So when Gordon said, who's this person speaking? And it was a fresh new face to the groundwork community. I was very experienced in working locally within the Portuguese community. So my foot actually started with volunteering. And when it came about to starting a tourism office, when they asked me to interview for the position, I couldn't bring them a book of business. I wasn't a seasoned salesperson in a hotel. I had tourism background. My father ran a tourism and a travel agency back in the 80s. Okay. I worked for an Elizabeth developer, Silcon, years ago in bringing the Skyview property in Rahway to life. It was an IHG property, so I helped open them on time and in budget, building and designing the hotel, staffing and management. So life kind of came full circle when they were asking to start a tourism office in Elizabeth, because I knew all the local partners, I knew the back ends of the hotels and operations, and so here it was trying to bring a brand to life when the product sells itself. We have great restaurants, great hotels, great nightlife and shopping, and it really was just a matter of putting it all together to tell our story.
So we're clear. While education mattered, volunteerism literally set the plate as to how you ended up here today.
Completely.
And so when folks hear our voices here, understand being part of a community always matters.
Critical.
Okay, amazing. So as you have that rounded story, talk to me about the city today. I mean, it's certainly let's face it, the city's jumping.
Yeah.
Okay, but the growth, the opportunity. Go ahead, come on, let us know what's going on.
So we're definitely at a crossroads. Here we are getting ready to celebrate the 250th anniversary and celebration of America. And Elizabeth is really where it all started 250 years ago, 350 actually, because we're the oldest city to the state. But really, we're at a pivotal point where we're getting ready to be put on a global scale. We have the World Cup underway. We have 10 years of marketing the city of Elizabeth outside our local area, internationally and across the country. So we're really at a prime point with businesses of interest. If you could think of Williamsburg, Brooklyn, years ago, people at one point wouldn't even want to step foot visiting that area.
Right.
And you look at it now, people are priced out. They can't even afford to be there. It's a great tourist attraction. So while that was a great example, that's pretty much where we are right now in terms of how we're getting ready for the next big boom.
Okay. So as you talk about that boom, let's just take a moment and think about the businesses that have come in and invested in the city, right? And there's been quite a number of them, and also expansions like Wakefern and things like that. Can you talk about a little bit about some of the investments that have come into the cities? You know, for those that can hear our voice, maybe go down. You know, you do the talking.
Thank you. So we have an example of Dixie Peanuts. So here you have over a 200 legacy of boiled peanuts that exists. And a woman's startup business was out west. She was down south. She found her way somehow to Elizabeth, and here she is. She's starting a manufacturing plant, and they're celebrating and manufacturing boiled peanuts in Elizabeth. So, I mean, that's just one of several, but here it is. She could have ended up anywhere, and she found herself here at home. And a pivotal part of that is our chamber embracing the history of her product and us being able to tell the story and connect her with local partners. So it's a matter of businesses that are outside the city, even ones that are here within our local Union County area. It's how our chamber is pulling everyone together to build those relationships for successful businesses.
Boiled peanuts.
Boiled peanuts. I should have brought one as my prop here for you today.
but jobs. There's jobs in
Correct.
those peanuts.
Creating jobs. Absolutely.
One of the stories I like is the folks at Brias Empanadas, right?
Yeah.
Are working. You know this story.
Brisas, for sure.
Please. I mean, you know, these guys are really taking a model.
We're so proud of them. Here it is, a family generational legacy, and the daughter and son are 2.0 of the next generation of brisas, and they're really putting empanadas on a national scale to be known here out of Elizabeth. And it's taking the classic story of a wonderful immigrant family who worked their way through creating the American dream. And now the next generation of children are transforming that to even a better opportunity for revenue, marketing. They're doing such great things, and we're so privileged to have them as a part of our portfolio.
They really are. And by the way, and they're just a couple of so many of the stories, but you mentioned restaurants just a little bit, and the expansion of restaurants. And you know, there's a generation that was at the Bell Lounge next to the train station. That doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
But there's exciting restaurants there, and there's all the. Talk a little bit about that, and of course the Midtown development with all that's happened there.
Thank you. So yes, travel the globe without a passport. That's our theme, because literally you could dine any country in Elizabeth and you get not only great cuisine, but you get phenomenal ambiance from the people speaking with you, the waiters, the staff, entertainment. It's really all about learning about the country and culture, and it's through what starts out as what you think of just cuisine.
So, you know, let's expand on that discussion a little bit more, and really about Go Elizabeth, right? So, which is, I know, been a strong project of yours. You're an ambassador for Go Elizabeth and all that's there. Can you talk to us a little bit about that program?
Yeah. So when I started 10 years ago, we started in 2015. It was a concept of an idea that started from a New Jersey State Tourism grant. Stop, shop, and play at 13A. And that developed into looking upon starting Elizabeth as a self-sustaining model for New Jersey State tourism in promoting Elizabeth. So I started with GoElizabethNJ and a logo. Our office was above a bank. We didn't even have desks. We were a filing cabinet room. And here we are 10 years later with robust website, a mobile app. We have our kiosks. We have virtual tourism kiosks in all the hotel lobbies that are telling people where to go and what to do in town. We're inside Newark International Airport. We're working on informing passengers that if they're on survival layovers, that they can do things just outside with us. So it's really been amazing to be able to put Elizabeth on the map through GoElizabethNJ.
Terminal A has been, Terminal A has been an exciting part of that development, right? And what is it? 2/3 of Newark Airport actually sits in the city of Elizabeth,
That's right.
And the vast majority of Terminal A. Explain I've had the opportunity a few times to do this. It's so cool. If you are late, or even just when you're coming off your flight, there's an entire part of Terminal A that provides you information about the city. I've had folks tell me, for example, you know what, the flight got delayed to 3 hours. So I went over to Jersey Gardens Mall and spent a small fortune and that sort of thing. Can you talk to me about that?
Absolutely. I can actually do a little show and tell as
By
well.
all
We
means.
have our survival layover guide.
All right.
And so it actually has a map that provides what people can do with 10, 15, and 20 minutes outside the airport. It gives experiences of what they could do in 3 hours or 6 hours. We've even gone to the extent of working with United Airlines because they have passengers that are on extensive layovers trying to get to connections like South Africa, for example. And so when passengers are booking longer durations and they have a survival that they need to kind of build some time in, United Airlines is sending them links to our survival layover guide. And they're prompting them to don't just stay landlocked in the airport, get out and explore just outside. So we're working with United Airlines on the different kiosks inside Terminal A at the carousels. We also have a kiosk where they can find things to do and how to navigate the city, our restaurants, our nightlife, even to the extent of once a month, we're working with Port Authority and we are training the staff inside the airport on what's happening in town. And so we work with the ACEs and the travelers aides on a monthly basis. We have a member of our team who's an ambassador and goes in on roll call, 5:30 in the morning, 1:30 in the afternoon, 9:30 at night, working with the different shifts just to remind passengers what there is to do if they are on extensive layovers.
So give us a little bit of it.
Okay, great. So a 3 hour or less, they can explore a historic museum promoting Liberty Hall. They can experience the tax-free shopping, which in many places outside of New Jersey does not exist. So tax-free shopping is huge. They can engage in exercise and they can go down to the Riverfront Trail or Warrenenko Park. Did you know Warrenenko Park? Everybody knows Central Park in New York City. And while passengers may not be able to have a layover where they can go and visit Central Park in New York City, they can go to Warrenenko Park and still get similar experiences. And why? William Olmsted was the original landscape architect who did Central Park. But before he did that one, he did our Warrenenko. So little gestures along those lines can create lasting, memorable experiences instead of just sitting in a hotel waiting for your next flight. Or sitting at the airport, I should say, waiting for your next flight.
Sure, you can connect and feel comfortable in that, especially when you see it and it's notified to you many times, so you can feel comfortable leaving and coming back.
Absolutely.
Hey, talk to me about. I want to do more of those, but talk to me about the impact of Jersey Gardens Mall and what it means in terms of the city.
Turn trash into cash and rubbish into retail. That was the original concept that was started years ago. Senator Leshniak was involved, and Gordon Haas, Mayor Bolwich, yourself. And this is where it was an old landfill. And someone was a visionary who, Glimsher and the whole network of turning an old site into a place that could become a world-class tourist destination. And with it being so close to the airport, it truly has become just that.
It's one of the busiest malls, not just in the state, but in the country, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, I read a stat once where it was the second most visited tourist attraction in New Jersey at the time, behind Atlantic City.
Yeah.
Yeah, folks come, and they get good deals.
They do,
Okay.
they do.
I don't want to. Tell us a little bit more about what some of the programs that you're doing, and then I want to move into the 250th and the World Cup and all that. but please.
Yep, I'm going to kind of just
Sure.
go through a bit. So we're working with our chamber to help inform businesses on opportunities that are coming to New Jersey and that a lot of other cities are taking advantage of. But in essence, the New Jersey Motion Picture and Television Commission has been doing amazing things. So what we're doing is we're getting small businesses, whether you have a great restaurant, a parking lot, a warehouse, take photos of your venues. You can upload them for free with the New Jersey State Film Commission. So your venue could be rented out and people can learn about it and see it in a movie. You have one classic case of Barcode, for example. They just ended up doing a movie there, and I believe it was Kevin Hart was there. So things along those lines of helping businesses with the New Jersey Film Commission, we're getting them uploaded.
By the way, Barcode on Broad Street.
Yes.
Right? That's what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
Barcode, the entertainment complex. That's
That he's-
one venue.
That's a stunning venue when you go in.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
mixed
sorry.
use. Yeah, absolutely. This past year, we released the Business Educational Series, and this is where we've partnered with Vintage City Offices, which is that new big complex, not just residential units, but in the lower level, there's over 100 office suites and over 200 businesses that frequent on a regular basis. So Vintage City Offices, we've partnered with this project, the Elizabeth Development Company, UCNJ, the County of Union, and UCEDC. And what we're doing is bi-monthly having a power breakfast, and we're educating them, businesses, on different topics. So upcoming now in February, we have tax tips and financials. In April, we have our Commissioner Isaiah Rivera going to be talking about public speaking so people can start to learn to come out of their shells and feel more comfortable in networking. June 3rd, we're going to have bilingual marketing. How do you connect, especially now with the World Cup coming? We need to be able to connect in multiple languages. In August, we have work-life balance and productivity. In October, AI for marketing and beyond, because we need our small businesses to be able to keep up with technology as it's evolving. And then in December, we have budgeting and QuickBooks. So it's a power breakfast every other month with business resources for our chamber members and members of the business community. You don't have to be a chamber member to attend them. So that's just another one of the great programs that we do, aside from monthly networking that we have.
Right. Yeah.
Which is great. And we're also powering the Linden Chamber of Commerce as well. So our chamber members are being able to benefit from both Elizabeth networking and the city of Linden.
So you continue to build on that foundation because you never know where that next partnership might be.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's been good. It's been good.
So you know, I think you and I we share things in common. We care about the people we the privilege of representing the businesses, but we also love the city of Elizabeth, right? It brings out a very special feeling if you have the opportunity to be just a little bit of a part of it. And I think one of the reasons for that magical feeling is not just because it's a well-run city, but because it's a city of immigrants. It's a city that represents a diversity of not only of New Jersey, but the world, really. And you can be in 4 different countries in 4 different blocks and welcome in them all. Right? And that I just think it's just a gift to be to be a part of it. That I hope everyone gets a chance who hears our voice. Take a walk down Morris Avenue, enjoy a little Columbia, stop and have something to eat. Then continue to walk and continue to go to different places, and you'll see what it can be all about. But because of that diversity, you know, there was a time when the immigrants came in, they were more Italian, they were more Irish. Today, maybe they're more, they come from south of us as opposed to the European, but they do that as well. And that's the beauty of it all. But that also brings up a lot of passion when it comes to the World Cup. Okay, and I want to transition you into that because having had the opportunity to be around for the Cup for a couple times, it's just remarkable. Talk to me about how Elizabeth is embracing the World Cup and FIFA and what you're doing.
Thank you so much. So yes, as a segue, the world's largest sporting event is coming to our backyard. It's going to be 20 minutes away at MetLife. So here we are, we're looking to be a support and a host city in terms of being able to fill our hotels so people can stay in close to all the action. We're going to have great restaurants that are going to be airing all the games. We have been working very closely with the New York, New Jersey Host Committee. They've been giving us information through the chamber. We've been partnering and sharing that information as we're receiving it. We're having quarterly restaurant meetings, and this is through the health department, stemming from the top down. Mayor Bolwidge gets together with all of us, with the health department. They're talking about the latest codes and standards, but yet we as the chamber are sharing with them marketing opportunities as well as how to prepare for the World Cup. We actually have been preparing for quite a while, and we've had some advertisements that have been through the tourism. Welcome to the city of Elizabeth. Stay at the center of it all. So we are advertising where we are positioned in proximity to the other stadiums where the World Cup is going to be played. Not to mention being such a convenient travel gateway. We have the airport, which is connecting all major games because of the air. So we're centrally located, and we've been advertising, working with the host committee, and then sharing all those resources locally. So that way our businesses can be ready and we'll be promoting them.
Well, when you talk about being centrally located, I just got to make the pitch with you. You know, first off, one of the largest amounts of hotel space in the entire state of New Jersey is located in the city of Elizabeth. But you have that accessibility with the turnpike. You mentioned the airport, 2 train stations, am I correct?
That's right, North Elizabeth and Elizabeth Station, a newly renovated train station.
Right, and it's absolutely beautiful. Yes. It is, and it complements that Midtown Direct that you mentioned earlier, which, by the way, will be the new home for Assemblywoman Keano.
That's right.
Her offices are going in there. Boy, there's so much happening. Let me ask you now, because I talked about it a little bit, talked too much, about how folks come into the city. You mentioned 350 years. It's a city with a history, right? You mentioned some of the great folks, and Admiral Halsey. There's so many fantastic people that are part of Judy Bloom, right? There's so many people that came from the city and made such an impact. But I think that reflects in the history that's coming up in the celebration of the 250th, right, for the country. Talk to us about that.
So if you're going to want to see the city of Elizabeth in one spot, we're going to welcome you to the Elizabeth train station at 14 Julian Place very soon. So here we have our Broad Street station, which is a plate, and that is symbolic of our Elizabeth train station, which iconically is going to be branded for the 250th as an official 250th museum. So the best stories of Elizabeth over our 350 years, including our founding fathers of America, highlighting Hamilton and learning about Boxwood Hall history, the Ft.President and the 313 project. Everything that highlights Elizabeth is going to be in one central location on display during 2026, not just for FIFA and the World Cup, but celebrating the 250th as well.
It's exciting, isn't it?
It is.
So, when we think about it now, in this area, and again, folks that can hear our voice are in a very special place when it comes to next year, right? We get to celebrate the diversity that we are fortunate enough to have with the passion of the World Cup. And we get to celebrate our 250th anniversary as a country.
That's right.
That's right. And it seems like you're putting it all together in the city of Elizabeth.
Thank you so much. It's been a privilege to be able to work with all of our elected officials, yourself, support from New Jersey State Tourism as well. We've learned the best from our partners, and now we're just bringing it all together to showcase everything that Elizabeth has to offer.
Well, you showcase it well. It has been absolutely my privilege to share a few moments with Jen Costa, who gets more done in a day than most do in a lifetime. And I'm thrilled that you took the opportunity to join us. And again, if you can hear us and if you hear this interview, please, whether it's in Union, whether it's in Kenilworth, whether it's in Elizabeth, we have so much to share for folks. You don't need to go anywhere. Go down the street, go down and see a historic site, go enjoy Boxwood Hall, go enjoy a great restaurant, and enjoy the things that Jen promotes because they're wonderful and they make our lives better here in the 20th District. Jen, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolute privilege. Thanks so much, everybody, and we'll see you again next time for A Cup of Joe.
That's a wrap on this episode of A Cup of Joe, hosted by Senator Joseph